This is PassionPoet. Welcome again to another episode of the Wett Spot. And today, if you're listening to this on our normal channel, which is audio, remember that today is actually going to be special. You can go on YouTube and check out the video as well. We did it once ago, a little while ago, with Faith Calendar, and today we're having a treat. If you follow the Wett Spot long enough, you know that I have a lot of women on this show. I hardly ever have men on the show. The first time I had a man on this show was like a year in. Wow. But we're actually having a man today. And we're speaking to Ian Harewood. He goes by the moniker Mule Mind, and he's one of the authors from my company, Passionate Words Editing. But we are actually talking about his book. Some look for masters and others look for
some look for masters, some look for saviors.
For some reason it don't come to me, but that title don't come off my tongue. Some look for masters and some look for saviors. That's the name of the book, and we're going to get into the book itself. Hey Ian, what are you doing? You good?
Hey, I'm good. Before we start, I want to ask you a question, right? Because today I'm here at the Wett Spot. I'm trying to figure out what does a wet spot mean?
There is an episode about that in the show. You can go and look it up. But all right, but seriously speaking, though, the Wett Spot is there. The reason for the name, first thing first, is that the Wett Spot is a safe space for sweat, tears, and sensuality. Sweat for uncomfortable situations. Okay. Tears, obviously, when you're vulnerable, sometimes you cry. And of course, sensuality, you can go no further.
Yeah,
right?
Okay.
You can go no further. But that's the reason behind the name. Yeah. And to be quite honest with you, the reason I got the name wasn't even that I came up with all that afterwards. Right?
Yeah.
But I literally I wanted to do a podcast and I was trying to figure out what to name it. And I sat on my couch and there was some condensation from the coke I was sitting in. I sat in the Wett Spot. That's where the name came from. And then I just had to make it all pretty. I had to pretty it up. But that's where the name came from. Okay. The Wett Spot. And of course, because I'm PassionPoet, it has to have a sexual connotation. But that's honestly where the name came from. Yes.
It's a good name.
Of course. It's been going 2 years now, so we got some traction with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yes, man. So some look for masters and some look for saviors.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually got the name right this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but what got you writing that book? What was your inspiration for that book?
My inspiration for the book was some bad breakups and some basically bad relationships that I had, early on, dating and trying to find the right person, and also like watching my friends. And I had some friends, they were good guys, and they were trying to be good men to their women, doing like taking care of them, doing all this stuff for their women. And then, the woman will go cheat. If the guy on the street who don't have a job, he don't have a job,
Yeah.
Ricardo in the neighborhood. His job is just standing in front of the corner store all day.
Wow.
Or whatever.
And the women always just find themselves gravitating towards him.
Towards a man like that. So, and plus I was raised in a house where our mother always taught us, as a man, you got to take care of your wife, take care of your kids, and do everything for your woman, make your woman comfortable, so on and so forth. So that's how my approach was initially when I started out dating. Like, I'm doing everything for my woman. I'm putting in 90% relationship, and basically I'm not really looking for anything in return. So.
Right. Because I was reading and talked about Stephanie. And Stephanie was the first girlfriend, probably, I think. But basically, what you had in the book was that's exactly what you said in the book, that she did you, even when she wanted to do things for you, you were like, nah. I will do the providing.
Yeah.
And even sexually, I mean, there's a part in the book, people. She wants to give the man a blowjob like She want to give me a blowjob, and he say no. Like, what the hell?
No. You forgot a whole no. She wanted to give me a blowjob, right? And we were like down in the basement, and the basement door was open. Her grandparents were like right there in the kitchen, right? They could,
So they could hear.
they could hear. So now she's trying to give me the blowjob. I guess like it turned her on.
Uh-huh.
Like I guess
You thrill of it.
the threat of being caught that turned her on. So she started doing it, and then I'm sitting here worried about her getting caught.
You ain't thinking about yourself.
And I ain't think about myself getting blown.
Oh man! But so this is so. Let's start by the definition. Well, not start, but let's lay back up here. I have the book on my phone. The book is actually available on Amazon. You can check it out. We'll get into those things a little
Great
bit
read,
later.
by the way.
Yes.
It's very captivating and catchy. It's not going to be one of those boring self-help books that normally you'll read. You fall asleep.
So it says here, a master is someone she can be of service to. There are two types of women. A master, talk about the men that the women like. A master is someone that she can be of service to. The woman can be of service to. That doesn't matter how much of a fuck up he is. She'll do her best to serve him. The savior is the superhero, the man who swoops in and takes care of all her needs, financially, sexually, physically, mentally, and then becomes her slave. I can tell you something.
What's that?
I had a couple of women one girl in particular who told me that because the book was on Amazon, she went to look at you can see a little bit of what the book is about.
Yes.
So she started to read it, and she's like, I don't know if I like this, or if I think this man's a jackass. So the fact of the matter is, when you first read the book, or your first interaction with the book, people seem to class you as a misogynist as soon as they see the book.
Misogynist.
Because so I want you to defend why you call it. I want you to defend your book.
It's funny that you should say that, right? I mean, especially in this day and time where women they're always saying about they want equality, right? But then they'll try to put a gender role on a man, like, well, you're the man, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that, right? So now, man, so you're supposed to take care of me, make me feel comfortable. So now the man, so you want me to put in 90% in the relationship and then still treat you as an equal, and you're not devoting equal amount of you're not investing equal amount of effort into the relationship yourself. So how can I treat you as an equal? But you're not giving me equal amount.
Okay.
Because you know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but like I said, well, maybe so. Is it that the book itself? I guess the fact I remember when we had this conversation with another mutual friend, and she was basically telling you that it would be good to get the other side of the situation, the other side of the
other side of the coin, right, from a woman's
perspective, because it sounds well, I mean, it is skewed from if you want to use that word, because you're talking from a man's perspective.
Yeah, but I won't go as far as saying skewed, because at the same time, I think a lot of women want it both ways. They want to say, well, I'm equal. I could do just as much as you. I'm equal to you intellectually, and I should be your equal. But at the same time, you do everything for me.
You still want to be a princess and an equal and a princess at the same
time.
There
you go.
Can't work.
So, and then my thing is this too also, is that if we're in a relationship and I'm putting in 95%, 90% in a relationship, right? I'm more invested in a relationship than you are. So one thing I know about people, when you invest in something and you're so highly invested in something, it's hard for a person to walk away from that.
That's just true.
So if she's in a relationship and she's not invested, she hasn't invested anytime, nothing financially, nothing mentally, anything. She hasn't contributed anything to the relationship. It's easy for her to walk away because she's not invested in that relationship in general. The man's more invested in anything.
Because he is doing everything in his power to provide.
He's doing everything in his power to provide. But what are you bringing to the table as a woman? If you're saying that, okay, equality.
Well, well, definitely what will have to happen. I think I will do another edition of this one sometime very soon. And we'll try to find a woman or two to come in and see if we can have a discussion to see what they will say on this topic. Because I remember when the lady mentioned to me, because I edited the book. So she's another client, and she's like, she basically was asking me, did you really endorse this kind of thing? And I'm like, okay. My first thought when I first read it was, what's like, honestly, my first thought when I at the beginning when I was starting to read it, my first thought was, okay, what the hell did I get myself into? But then as I thought about it and I went through my own relationships, I grew up as you did, learning you should respect, you should put the woman first, you should do everything to make the woman feel happy. I've done that. I still do that. But at the same time, I do realize I
Okay, let me start right there. All right. So in those relationships you said where you were doing that, you were putting in 90% of the relationship. Were you happy? And did you get and were you satisfied in that relationship?
you don't know what you don't know. So if that's the only thing you're accustomed to, you ain't necessarily realize that you might not be as happy as you think you are. If you get me. So I would have said at the time, yes. I would have said yes, I was happy because I am conditioned to help. I am conditioned to help people. I love seeing my woman elevate, and I get pleasure from seeing her pleasured in every sense of the word. But I mean, where saying it in another context, who ministers to the minister? Who gives me the pleasure that I'm giving you? If you understand, so I understand where that came from. Like I said, it there is a level of happiness that I had, but there is a level of feeling disconnected, and there's more to it that I also had that I did not know at the time, but I realized later, right? I realized that I have to break for myself. I have to break for myself. I have to or let me put it this way. I have to think about myself more. I have to balance more. Like, so if it's 90-10 and she's getting 90, I have to pull back and I have to make sure that I get to, because I can't be giving and don't get back. She's gonna say she's giving back, but I am not receiving what I need from the relationship. And even if she's doing the best she can,
No,
um,
because it becomes a relationship where your needs get neglected. It's not the relationship is not even about your needs in the first place. It becomes
exactly,
about
is about just giving her all the time.
there you go.
Right, so I believe, so that's why I said in my reading of the book, I came to the realization, okay, yeah, I can see where this is, because, but for me, I'm gonna ask the questions. Why did you choose those particular? I think the issue isn't the concept. I think the issue might be
The name
the
master and say.
names. Yes, master and savior. Well, we got the savior a concept. We got this. The
So
captain savior hope, but the master. I think when women hear master, they immediately think subservient, which is not
no, it's
necessarily
not
what.
necessarily true because, like for example, like a person who's good at something, you will say that they're a master at
Mm,
what they're doing.
mm, yeah. Okay. So your issue, you're saying he's a master of the
He's a
relationship.
master of getting his needs met
He's a master
in
getting
the
his name in.
relationship
Right. Because when
because
there's
he realized because he don't have any he doesn't have he's not hung up with all this all these kind of gender roles
mm,
of he's feeling wrong that letting a woman sitting back and taking a back seat to his woman, realizing that his woman is more intelligent than him
mm,
and she could actually save herself. He don't have to think about always saving her. She could save herself and she could also save him if he allow her to.
okay.
And then my book is also, I don't want to give the whole book away, but
Yeah.
it's also speaking about certain types of women.
Mm.
Because not every woman wants a man who comes in and does everything for her. You have a lot of independent women out here who they won't mind having a man, and trying and going hard for him.
And the thing about it
But
is,
that clashes when you have a man coming in with his idea where it's like, you know what, being a man, I have to be the one to think for her. I have to be the one to provide everything for her. She don't have her own. She can't save herself because I gotta be the one to save her from this cruel world.
mm,
And that's not always the case because sometimes a relationship might be 60-40 where a woman is putting the 60% and the man's putting the 40% in, but it works for that couple because guess why? Because now she feels more needy in that relationship.
right. Because one of the things I've seen in the book is those, if you are, if she is wired to assist and wants to help you, and you keep pushing her away because you are like, no, I'm the man. I can't let you help. She's gonna feel she's not her needs are not gonna be met.
There you go.
And because her needs are not gonna be met, then she's gonna find somebody who is. What I find is in reading the book, I wonder about or putting it another way, you have the the nice guys,
And they finish last a lot of times.
and they do finish, they might finish that
Because
slot.
you know why? Because a lot of women say they want a good man, right? But then they get a man who comes in and he's always saying I love you. He's always treating his woman good, taking care of doing his stuff for her, and then that turns the woman off because her idea of masculinity it doesn't align with that.
And her alignment of masculinity might be societal.
It's societal. So
So
the man coming in like he's always answering like, "Are you okay, baby? How you doing?" He treat you. You know what I'm saying?
so
So they eventually,
so somewhere within some women, let's not say all because they
it's not all.
can't be
It's
all,
not all
but for some women, they like to be, well, for sure. I know women that like to be dominated.
dominated.
They that's how they live. They are in a being in a submissive role makes them happy, and being in that submissive role, if you come in and you're submissive too,
It turns them off.
yeah.
It's gonna repel.
Mm, I get you. I just
So the book is not just like if you read the book and you have a narrow mind, you're gonna look at it from one perspective. Like you're gonna see that's only one. Like you have a narrow mind, you're gonna look at the book from one perspective. But in the book, it's multiple things going in the book, not just that aspect.
right.
It's also talking about gender roles
Mm-hmm.
in the book.
Mm-hmm.
It's speaking about certain types of women and why they're wired that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's speaking about certain women who look for saviors and what type of woman will look for a master. So in the book you have multiple things going on in the book.
Yeah, I like I said, I actually, because of course you've seen me, you in the audience may not have seen it yet, but when you start to go on to his pages, you probably see my face, and you will see me actually endorsing the book because I did. I will admit, like I said, my first thought when I first heard it was, I didn't even know, because I'm looking at it as it might be a little bit controversial, but even controversy isn't necessarily a bad thing. You need to be able to have tete-a-tete and be able to defend your position in either way. Where as an author and as an editor, I tell my clients all the time, I don't have a problem changing this. I just need you to justify why it's there. If
Yeah.
you can justify why it's there, I can leave it. If not, I think it should come out. Because I don't necessarily agree. I don't understand it. So explain it to me. If you can explain it, then I may not take it out. I might edit it, change it because it is a little bit wonky. But I need to understand why it's there. If it is there for a reason, then I can deal with it. And that's the challenge. This book challenges the status quo. It does challenge the status quo. It challenges what people associate for relationships.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. Even if it's not, even if you don't agree.
Because why? Because the book, some aspects of the book go against societal norms, but a lot of societal norms, some of them are hypocritical. Because I find that, like meeting women, in Belgian society, a lot of women they come to you. Their first thing is that you gotta have a car, right?
Yeah.
They come in like you gotta have a car, you gotta have a good paying job. They want money every week from you. You gotta give them a certain amount of money every week. So you come in like the first idea of it's money first and the man second. So
I can't argue that. I can't argue against that. I can't argue against that. That's actually unfortunate.
it's a trip,
It
man.
happens too much. You know, happens too much
Listen,
there.
my cousin told me. I was telling my cousin one day about her ex boyfriend why they broke up, and she was saying that what she's certain things he didn't want to do, right? And she said that you have some women in basic society that they want $100 and some dollars from their men a week. She said I was only asking for $100 a week,
Only
and he
after
gonna
on
get and
only
he gonna give me that. You know what I'm saying? So
only see if is like you see I can't I try to be I am trying to be
you try
trying to be
politically correct.
yeah but only I mean yeah I can't
You try
I'm trying to be political
politically
I
correct.
mean political correct I run in the I it's my interview I try what's the word when you're when disassociated you know what I mean but nah
But you have a lot of them. They come in right. They don't have anything to offer, right? But what's between their legs?
mm,
And they come in dictating everything in your life. They want this way, they want that this way, they want so on and so forth. But only thing you come and contribute to the whole relationship
is sex
is sex. But you think because you have this, you got that certain anatomy
Mm.
that's supposed to trump everything.
this is a non-judgmental space. So if you go
Well, I'm being judged for my.
no, that's not what I mean. That's not what I mean. I'm just saying
Oh,
what
okay.
I'm actually telling you is you don't have to censor yourself here.
Okay, yeah.
If you listen to my
Yeah,
podcast,
they come. I'm saying they come in just pussy.
exactly.
They're
There
just
you go.
offering,
I know that's what you want to say.
they
So
offering
I
up,
just give you permission to
they
say.
offering up pussy, and that's all everything they need
Mm.
to. And they think that when they come with that's pussy, that they come with pussy to offer that they should get everything. You gotta do everything for them, and only thing I'm gonna give you is pussy. And I don't care how hard you work to do it to support me.
Mm.
As long as I'm fuck you the right way, then
Mm.
I deserve everything you got.
Not
I
everything.
want a certain amount of money every week from you. You gotta keep me looking a certain way.
Yeah. No.
But now if a man come in doing that, now he's looked at like what, like, hey, this guy he's less than a man, and he's this, he's so on and so
But
forth.
there you go. Now looking at this here, we talk about the saviors being in a sense comparatively, what you're basically saying is that being a savior is not a good thing at all. And you should move from being a savior to a master.
Well,
Isn't there a
no.
good, is there anything good about being a savior?
But I'm not saying that you shouldn't be a savior. I'm saying you should be a savior by choice and not be a savior because what society tell you should be.
Okay.
You should really weigh and judge like who you are and what you really want, and then decide what you really want and go for that. Because a savior might not be the role that really makes you happy.
Mm.
If you're not really getting all your needs met and freely expressing yourself, then why be a savior? If the master role might be a role that you could choose for yourself.
But again, the master role seems more manipulative than anything else. When you read,
You have a lot of guys in society who are masters. I mean, they're masters in the sense where they're not like their women are taking care of them,
but again,
and they don't have a problem with it.
right?
And when they go in society and people say, well, this she's paying his mortgage, she's doing this, she's doing that for him. He's not a man. This is that, whatever, and it worked for them.
Well, yeah, you can't argue in somebody's.
And I have people in my own family who deal with individuals, and they've been together. I'm talking about for decades.
Yes, that's in the book
And
too.
They work hard. They do this,
And
so
he's
forth.
like, "Oh, I want a new BMW," and she's going like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I need to find a woman like that. I don't know. We'll see. But no, but seriously, basically it boils down to the fact that you have, as long as you are comfortable in your relationship, we're kudos to you. No one is saying to you, if you're listening to me, no one's saying to you, you have a fucked up relationship, you should change it. If you are a man and your woman is happy and you are happy, you are providing for her and she's in a position where she is meeting your needs, no one is telling you are crying you down and saying you are a bad person and you are in your savior role and you should be a master. No one's saying that. That's not what I'm getting from the book. right? The book is there's type A person, there's type B person. If you for some reason find yourself as type A person and you're not happy, move into type B, because if you're dealing with these two types, there might be other types. But if you're looking, move into type B, become more assertive. Again, yes, there are manipulative people around. Yes, there are people who take advantage of
Other people.
the other person. So in both cases, the woman is taking advantage of the soft heart of the man, and so he, being the savior, is all of his energy is being sucked. Oh, so energy, finances, all these other resources are sucked out of him, and there's no replenishment. So he eventually gets burnt out. On the other hand, no, you have the man who is doing who might be, because there are negative connotations to masters, but you could also have a master who is from the book taking control of the relationship and guiding the relationship, so that he's using his powers of persuasion for good, in a sense, right? So I just think personally that the word master is turned off people. If it were me, I would have changed that particular concept, not the concept, but the definition,
the definition of
the name of the name that you're defining it as. Because when I hear the word master, people always associate it with subservience.
Subservience, okay.
And that's not exactly what you're saying in the book.
It's not exactly
right, but from the time people see that, and from the time people, especially women, see that, they're gonna look at it like, this man's a jackass. Because that's what my girl said. I said, and she's like, okay. I said, no, not 100% jackass, maybe 60%. I mean, we had a joke about it, but to me, it is. I would suggest to anybody who is listening to me and is interested, they should pick it up. I know people always say that you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but who doesn't? The first thing you do is pick up the book, look at it, and then turn over to the back and read it and see, what it's about. But the fact of the matter is, similar to one of my books, my novel Make It Rain, where I'm still working on trying to get the cover to be perfect. People look at the cover and they said they saw the cover as, the original cover was scary. The original cover didn't match the fact that it was an erotic book, so they didn't pick it up at all to read it.
But you're just talking about a particular, like, well, the I guess the master, the connotation behind it. But once you read the back of the book and you see what the book is about, because the back of the book is more.
Yeah, it has a synopsis.
Because some books will have titles, but then you open the book, you read the book, and the title don't even match the whole book. You know what I'm saying? But once you pick the book and you read it, and you read the back of the book and you see what the book's about, because on the back of the summary of the book itself tells you what the book is about.
It does.
The back of the book don't say, listen, the man should dominate you. You should be subservient. It doesn't say that. It said the back of the book breaks down everything that's inside the book. So if a person, you look at the title, but then you flip the book around, look at the back of the book, you read what the book's about. Now it's like, okay, it explains to you what it's about.
Well, yeah, and so to be quite honest, really and truly, that's what you need to do. Pick the book up and read it. If you don't agree, which you have you can, it's in your right to do so. You still don't agree, that's fine. But give the book a chance, as I did, as others have.
Did you enjoy reading the book?
I did. I mean, it was actually I like the stories. I like the stories from your own life. Talking about meeting your girlfriend, meeting your ex-wife, those kinds of stories. They became, it made the book personable. So it's not just spitting, if you want to say spitting an opinion, not just not spitting an opinion, but hey, I went through this. This is the reason why I came through this. I mean, my question to you. We talking about this girl named Teresa, right? In this book.
Oh my
Teresa, he was dealing with Teresa. Teresa gave gonorrhea, and he went back. What, you went back? It was that good?
It was good.
It was that good? The man, I was like, when I read that, I was like, wait. The man literally says in the book, right? I don't want to hit
You
that.
give us, you give away too much of the book right
No,
now.
no, 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 no. I ain't giving them.
Give these type of tidbits. They gotta go get the book.
I'm not okay. I can tell them no
They
more.
gotta go get the book and read the book,
No,
man. You'll see.
but
You
no. The
you
man
you
says,
listen.
hello. The man says, I don't want to hit that ass again. Like seriously speaking, it was that good. I was like, nah.
Teresa, listen, man. Teresa had a good shot. I'm not gonna lie, man.
But in all honesty, like that's the kind of stuff that you will get in this book, right? The book is not just spitting an opinion and thinking and hitting at women and thinking and making women out to be the bad guy. It's not, and it's not even saying that the saviors specifically are bad people. It's just if you are unhappy in your relationship, you should seek to change it. And if I say I think that might be the only thing that I would say that I think the summary doesn't specifically hit that one.
Yeah.
Right. So you read the book.
Hey, but that's what I had you. That's what I had you for.
Then anyway. But no. But I mean. But yeah, I would just say that as a reader. Yeah. As a reader, it has a summary. It has a summary. It comes to a conclusion. But you have, let's say, months of, when you put down a book and you get a chance to think about it a little bit, I could have changed this, I could have do that. But the book out already, so it's no time to write book 2. You got any more books coming?
Yeah, I actually have been working on another book, and it's dealing with the Black Lives Matter movement, mm-hmm. But this book is fictional.
Right.
So you have certain characters in here, black cop, and he's trying like the whole premise of the book is that a lot of Black Lives Matter protesters were getting killed, and he's trying to investigate. But now you have the right wing side, a lot of officers in his precinct, they're right wing, and they're Trump supporters or whatever, and so they're trying to they're basically they don't like Black Lives Matter, so they really don't want to do a thorough investigation, and he's going his way trying to figure out who's doing the killing. So that was a book that I was that's a book I was working on, but I kind of put it down for right now to try to focus on promoting this book right here. Okay. But another book that I wanted to do is part 2 of this book from the woman's perspective, because that's kind of what because my daughter read the book and she was saying that she said she read the book. She said she couldn't put it down. It was that interesting. But she said she was like, yeah, you should have at least wrote from the woman's perspective too. Right. But I said, well, I'm not a woman, so
this one, no, you got to do.
So this one, I would have to do some research, interview, a couple women who've read the book, and get their opinions down, and I would do a follow up.
Yes, which I think then would balance out.
It will balance out.
It will balance it out because you have you have 2 testosterone, a lot of testosterone in this book, and you need to be able to balance out so that you can have the people who let them come with their apparent, like if they don't like it or
listen, one thing I can guarantee about the book is that it would be controversial, but it's definitely going to open up some real good conversations.
Yes, for sure.
And it's going to be even if a woman picks the book and reads the book, she's going to enjoy the stories in the book. It's going to captivate her that she's going to read the whole thing through.
Yeah, I will admit to that. It actually was compelling to read, and I will definitely encourage you to get it. We can end off just now, but I ended off where I wanted to start. Your pseudonym, Mule Mind. I wanted to ask you to tell the people where that came from.
Well, Mule Mind is they really come from because Mule is known as a hard worker. And they say when somebody say you're a mule, that's like you're putting in a lot of work.
No, usually when they say they're a mule, they say you're stubborn.
So but mule. I mean, historically, when you think about the mules, like they were known as workhorses.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? Uh-huh. They pull heavy loads. They do all this. They carry a heavy burden, and they put in a lot of work. So, mule mind really stands for muling of the mind. Your mind. My mind is always working. I'm a deep thinker. My mind is always working, trying to create with my thoughts. So that's why I came with the term. Mule Mind.
Because when I first heard it, I was like, "What the?" because
It's catchy too. I
it
like it.
is. It is true. It
Mule
is
Mind is a
catchy.
Mule Mind is sexy, man. Put it like that. It's
when
a
I
sec.
heard when I heard it, I was like, okay, yeah, this because when I hear mule, my first thought was stubborn. So I was like, wait, you call yourself stubborn? I mean, yes, you got the connotation of a hard worker. I get you. That's why I said I had to explain. I had you to explain it. I had to explain it because it made sense. But the first thought I was like, why the mule? I mean, the mind of a mule, the hardworking, focused, determined. You know that those are the kinds of things that I came with.
But I'm not using it's not it's not it's about the mule's body. It's like the mule.
No, I get it. Go
It's
ahead.
like a metaphor. The mule's body is a hard. He works hard with his body.
And that's where your mind is.
So that's what my mind is.
Hard working.
Hard working
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
towards a particular goal.
I got it. I got it. So like I said, the good
Just
thing.
Just like Wett Spot.
touche. But yes, you're right. You're right. And like I said, I have no issues with it. It was for the very just like as you said, just like with the Wett Spot, it has double meanings, or you can you can pick from it what you will.
There you go.
You pick from it what you will. So before we go, I want you to just talk to people, give them encouragement, and then also tell them how they could get the book.
Well, my book is available right now on Amazon. It's available in an ebook, which is $9.99, and paperback, which is $13.99. And I definitely would appreciate the support. It's a great read, and I guarantee you definitely be satisfied with your choice.
Right.
So, and also, if you want to get in contact, you can email me at Ian Harewood 1015 at gmail.com. Or go to my Facebook page, Ian Harewood, and I also have some excerpts from my book on that page.
Great, and it's not fully up yet, but I will let the cattle to the bag and say there will be a mulemind.com for you to check out his stuff as well. But it's not fully up yet. But
I also have a YouTube. I'm also on YouTube too. I have some videos on YouTube where I'm actually speaking to a woman about the book, who she actually read the book, and she's giving me her opinion of what she thinks about the book. So if you go to Mule Mind, that's the name on YouTube.
On YouTube.
And I have videos on there.
Right. So there's a YouTube channel. The website is coming up. There's stuff on Amazon. So Mule Mind is gonna be like a all encompassing. Yeah, you know what I mean? So keep in mind all of these different things. Go check the book out. Just you are a member of the Wett Spot, so
don't be surprised if I come up with Mule Mind hair grease or something like that.
It's true
For those stubborn naps.
Yes, he's an entrepreneur, so yes, everything working.
Everything gotta work, man.
But so thank you very much for coming, Ian. It was you know what I mean. I had the intention of doing this just as my normal podcast, you know what I mean, which would just have been just pure audio. But yeah, I did it. I did it the first time. I did it again. I might do it. I don't know if I could get around to doing it every week, but we can do this more often. I'm gonna do more video, and definitely have you back on the show again later on, and for sure when more books come.
Yeah, of course, and I'm definitely gonna use you again as far as like my books, man. You did a great job editing my book.
Well, PassionPoet
editing everybody.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so if you and for those of you who have gotten this far, Passionate Words has been a constant sponsor of the Wett Spot. So we anybody who wants any books done, and we don't just do. As you can tell, this is not this is not an erotic book specifically, but it is a book on relationships. So if you want anything,
but the book does have some erotic stuff in the book.
Well, yeah. Got some I mean, my blowjobs right there with the grandmother right on the outside. So
I messed that blowjob up, boy.
I know, right? You must be regretting that. Oh no,
I am. That's why I say one of my regrets right now. You have regrets when you think back in your life, oh my God.
I mean, she ready, She's ready. She's like, let me take it to right. I'm like, and the man literally, no, stop that. I'm like, and I reading this book like, nigga, no, what you doing?
Oh my God, man.
Anyway, so this has been PassionPoet. This has been another episode of the Wett Spot, the virtual. I want to say the video edition. I'm gonna come up with a name. specifically for the video spots. We can do that. But this has been Fashion Poet. Thank you once again for another episode of the Wett Spot. We were on hiatus and we're coming back slowly. This is one of our things coming back. The next one. If you want to be on the show, you can always DM me or you can hit me up on the Wett Spot podcast. The Wett Spot podcast at gmail.com. Wett has 2 T's. So the Wett Spot podcast at gmail.com. You can hit me up on via email and or the dot wet dot spot dot podcast. Yes, I wasn't thinking when I read it when I put it up. It was very long. But the Wett Spot podcast on IG, and just follow me. You know, there are naughty polls in our stories. Community is being formed, and just have some fun. So there's all of that you will hear in the in the outro as well. But this has been Passion Poet. As I said, we out.